Hello, my name's Elena Meek, and I'm with Code VA. I'm here to help you with your Star Logo Nova tour. Now, whether or not you've been coding for a while, just started coding, or it has been a little while since you've coded, Star Logo Nova is a great way to enter your students into coding. It's a web based computer software that will help them not only understand the fundamentals of coding, but it'll help them to solve real world problems. And we're doing this by creating a virtual world. Within that world, there's going to be an environment and there's going to be agents. And those agents and in the environment are going to interact. And so the agents are turtles. All right. They can be different sizes, they could be different colors, and they can take on different positions within the environment. The reason why they can do that is because remember, this is helping us to solve real world problems. Sometimes these problems are happening across the country, let's say in Washington or in a different country, such as China, or they're happening in different classrooms or in different bays, such as the Chesapeake Bay, the San Francisco Bay, or they're happening in the water such as the Pacific Ocean, or they're happening on a different type of terrain, maybe the savannah. So who knows? But we can also, in these different types of terrains and in these different environments, have the agents, the turtles that we talk about, behave in different manners. And that's one of the ways that we're going to program them in these different environments, such as I spoke of, there is a grid, a coordinate plane that is basically 101 tiles wide, 101 tiles long, and it has a center, the origin at 0, 0. They can have an X position and a Y position. Now, within the environment, our agents are interacting. There are three different ways that they can interact. They can have an impact on their environment. Maybe cars are letting out different types of fumes or too much CO2, like the Volkswagens did. And so we can measure their impact on the environment, or they can react to their environment. Maybe something is there in the road, there's a pothole. What do they do? Do they keep going straight or do they veer off? There's something in their environment that's happening, that's making them do something. And then there is something that they can actually interact with as another agent. Two agents can interact with each other. Maybe if one person smiles to another person, what happens? Uh, do they smile? Do they frown? Do they look surprised? Or right now, since we're talking about real world situations, how this can be used, we're talking about COVID-19. We have heard on the radio, seen on TV, that doctors are inputting information into models and simulating what is going to happen. And so, if a sick person encounters a healthy person, does that healthy person then get sick or do they stay healthy? So, they're inputting information about different types of populations. And so, they're seeing how the curve is going to get flattened, hopefully soon, and we get out of quarantine. And so, to figure out when that actually happens, they're using different types of instrumentation. And these buttons that they're using, it's setting up the different model, they're running the simulations. Now, some of the important items that we can switch are setting the different variables. There are all sorts of variables that we will have, whether or not it's the sick people, the healthy people, the amount of pollution, let's say, in the water, and how fish react. Do they eat it? Do they swim away? Do they die? And also within that, all of these variables, they're vast. We can set them. Most importantly, we can get a graph and a chart of this information, which is very important because we need to know how to interpret this data. And if your students are like mine, they have troubles with graphs. These models help them in a lot of ways. They not only understand more complex adaptive systems, but with these graphs, with the models, they're able to look at the model, say, oh, the model's doing this and this and this. Then when they're looking at the graph, they're able to process the information a whole lot easier because they've been looking at the model and know more or less what the graph should be doing. And that is an added benefit because they're learning how to process this information. Again, Star Logo Nova, SL Nova, is a web-based software program. We're going to be talking about some loops, some iterations, some public and private galleries, and how to remix some of the information. Now, if you have used Scratch to code, that is wonderful, and you will be quite familiar. This will look quite familiar for you because this is also a block-based coding system. And so the different blocks have different colors and different shapes and sizes. This is going to help us to recognize different blocks easier and to decide what they do because it's like reading a sentence. When something happens, I want it to move a certain way. If this block is red, then I want it to turn blue when it goes 5 spaces. That is a whole lot of the information that we're going to use to code. When we're coding in these next 6 sessions, we're going to use 2 pages, mostly the world and the turtle pages. The world, we're going to use setup. It's a blue button that is on Spaceland. And when setup is pushed, certain things happen within the environment. Then on the turtle page, while forever is toggled, the turtles will do something. Now we're going to use slnova.org to actually do our coding.